Welcome to the SCP Foundation's Site-69. We house an assortment of weird and wacky anomalies known as SCPs. Some of them are safe, while others are dangerous. But we are proud to say that we have never had a major incident. Everything was normal. We were running tests on the SCPs, such as this gun that creates meals from headshots, and these cows made up of plants, which I think is where Luke Skywalker gets his milk from. We also have the corpse of an infant in our freezer. It's not an SCP and we aren't running tests on it, but we have it. The whole site is overseen by Dr. Katze Krankenwagen, MD, CPA. He conducts most of these tests while under the careful watch of his bodyguard Bob, who did I mention is 10 days from retirement. As I said, things were going well, no bumps in the road at all. That is, until Dr. Krankenwagen got hit up on the celly. Hello?
Yeah.
Understood. I'll deploy Mobile Task Force Chinchilla and they'll capture the SCPs and bring them back for observation. Before you go, I was talking to Mal in accounting and she said she hasn't heard back from you all regarding our Christmas bonuses. Are those still happening or... Hello? MTF Chinchilla geared up and took helicopters out to use the most elite tactics to capture the SCP. As soon as they got back, they put the SCP into containment, and Dr. Krankenwagen recognized this mysterious creature. It seemed odd to the doctor that this SCP was alone, as they usually travel in packs. So, why was there just one? Oh well, it's bedtime for Dr. Kronky. He will ponder this question in his dreams. Dr. Krankenwagen woke up to some bad news. Apparently, one of our 2 interns was killed and eaten when they decided to take a walk outside the perimeter of Site-69. Cue MTF Chinchilla's elite tactics? We lost an intern, but we expanded our collection to 2 of these adorable little monsters. After another day passed, we doubled the amount of SCPs we've captured. Nevertheless, Dr. Krankenwagen decided this was the perfect time to begin researching these creatures. By researching, I mean throwing D-class personnel into the room and see if they get eaten. MTF Chinchilla has been swamped, capturing SCP after SCP. They barely have time for a lunch break. But skipping lunch is a big no-no for their union, so enjoy your meals until we can find an SCP that can defeat unions. We have gathered some interesting results from our research on these creatures. They have brutally killed every D-class person we have thrown in the room with them. But they didn't kill Alex. They seem to vibe with Alex. Could it be his irresistible charm, or maybe he's just kinda chill and they respect that? We will never find out. But we will keep forcing people to go in there and be eaten. Why? Well, because we can. We are still capturing more of these things and have filled 2 rooms at max capacity with them. Honestly, I don't know how many more of these we can house. If we keep capturing more, we will have to move them into the big containment room that we've never used. Now, you might have noticed this 3rd containment room and wondered, why aren't we using it as well? This room contains a robot that hates geese, and it speaks French. We don't think he would be a good roommate, so we will leave him alone. We did end up catching some more SCPs and had to put them in the big room. The ones in the smaller rooms look kinda sad and lonely. I want to do something nice for them and move them to the big room so they can be with more of their friends. So we are going to have to do some hard work moving them from the smaller containment rooms to the larger one. And by we, I obviously mean the surviving intern, Stumpy. We replaced the reinforced glass in the viewing rooms with embrasures that allowed the mobile task force to shoot through them and trank the SCPs. Once we had tranquilized most of the SCP-939s to deem the rooms, safe enough for Stumpy, he entered the room, grabbed an unconscious SCP, took them up to the large containment room, and dropped them off, then he ran for his life. Now that the transport work is done, I will allow my employees to take a break. They kinda earned it. While they are on break, Dr. Krankenwagen wants to inspect the SCPs in containment. He pondered why there are so many. Like, is there an SCP music festival in town? Did one of them get a lit-ass Groupon? Speaking of lit ass, Stumpy, please do not light up that smoke leaf joint in the chem fuel storage room located right next to the containment room with all the dangerous SCPs. I see now that I poorly planned the layout of this facility, but honestly, hindsight is 20/20, and I would like to shift all of the blame to the intern. That sounds fair. There is some good news. The explosion triggered a failsafe at the facility. Not lockdowns or distress signals, but some groovy mood lighting. And Dr. Krankenwagen and his trusty accomplice Bob were trapped in the heart of the breach. Man, Bob, this must suck a lot for you. You were supposed to retire after today. Since Dr. Krankenwagen is more important than everyone else in the facility combined, a rescue operation begins. The on-site mobile task force, MTF Chinchilla, geared up, locked and loaded. That's all I got. MTF Chinchilla prepared themselves to fight their way through the monster-infested facility to rescue Dr. Krankenwagen and escort him out of the facility to the helicopters parked outside. They inch up through the hallway, taking their time and checking their corners. They had to step over the bodies of their colleagues and friends who were slaughtered by the monsters they had helped capture. It made them feel sorrow and guilt, except for Justice. Fuck that guy. Everybody hates Justice. Pushing down the hallway north of the center power park, MTF Chinchilla spotted a pack of SCPs. Opening fire, the team killed as many as they could, but the ravenous wave of beasts seemed endless. The team had two options here. A, engage in a heroic last stand, taking as many of them down before they themselves are killed, or B, use their secret technique. The team elected to go with option B. And what was the secret technique? Well, they ran away. So taking the direct route to Dr. Krankenwagen was not gonna work. Instead, the team opted to travel to the south side of the base and loop back around to the containment rooms. They assumed that there would be fewer creatures at the edges of the base. While MTF Chinchilla was making their way south, an off-site rescue team was preparing to breach Site-69. They aren't exactly a rescue team, but meet Mobile Task Force Junior Varsity. MTF JV's job is simple. If a containment breach is uncontrollable, infiltrate the site and activate the nuke that the facility bought off Craigslist, thus ensuring no SCPs escape. So when shit goes down and your good mobile task forces are unavailable, who you gonna call? Well, you'd rather call someone else, but these guys if you absolutely have to. Their team enters the entrance to the base, immediately witnessing the carnage that lies before them. They knew this was going to be a tough fight, but nothing that they couldn't handle. I mean, they are the second best after all. MTFJV has to reach 2 points in the base, the nuclear silo and its control panel, both located on complete opposite ends of the building. If I was smart, which I am not, I would say that whoever built this base did that on purpose for dramatic effect. Their first priority will be securing the nuclear silo, as what use is the controls if the nuke is destroyed? When they arrived at the nuclear silo, MTF Junior Varsity drops off 2 soldiers tasked to defend this objective or die trying. The rest of MTF JV continues their mission for the control panel, taking a shortcut through the central power park. This might not have been the best idea, as there's only 4 paths to travel on, and 2 of those currently have SCPs. Uh-oh. The team leaves the center area and quickly barricades themselves in a nearby empty room. As the SCPs are breaking down their door, the team must assess their options. They can attempt to kill the SCPs after they break in, or they can choose a more ballsy option. They threw grenades, making a hole and entering containment breach ground zero. MTF Chinchilla was right in their assumption. The edges of the site had much fewer SCPs than the center. It was actually kind of fun. One of them even took a 1v1 as their team watched and cheered. Get shit on. After having their fun, MTF Chinchilla reached the intersection in front of the containment observation rooms. Scouting the surrounding area, it didn't take a nat 20 to realize that the place was swarming with critters. They knew that no matter what they did, they will have to fight, but they can't put themselves at an advantage. The entrance hall to the containment area has a few auto turrets that have successfully taken out a few of the monsters already. Being the badass she is, Tomoko volunteers to lay down covering fire to buy her remaining 5 squad mates time to enter the hall. It was pretty cool, but more importantly, her team made it into the room, and with the help of the turrets, they were able to finish off the SCPs, suffering only 1 additional casualty. Now, Fred isn't dead, he's just a little dinged up. But we don't really have time to save him, so bye Fred. Finally, the team arrived at the viewing room where Cronky and Bob had been waiting for them. Vikinger initiated the secret knock to alert the occupants it was safe to come out. A singular knock, that's it. With Dr. Kronkenwagen secured, it was time for one thing. The union-mandated meal break. Doesn't matter if there's a containment breach, the SCP Foundation legally has to give them a break. After they finished, the team is hoping that since they killed a lot of SCPs in the hallway to the west, that it would now be a safe passage for them to escort Kronkenwagen out of the facility. But who could have guessed that they would run into more of the red murderous creatures? Not me. They were surrounded. Their only option was to retreat into the kitchen and push further back into the infant body freezer. It seems all roads lead back to the infant body freezer. Oh look, it's the intern. 2 MTF members stayed in the kitchen, hoping to buy time for the doctor to escape. They had nowhere to go, they couldn't fight their way out, and if they went into the animal pen, they would just be fighting outside. Suddenly, Bob showed some wisdom in his old age and began firing at the wall. If the team broke through, they could escape through the battery room and bypass the SCPs. Good job, Bob. You deserve a retirement. They ran away as they listened to their teammates give their lives to hold off the SCPs. While MTF Chinchilla was escaping, the members of the junior varsity squad were right next to their second objective. The problem was, this area was crawling with baddies. Not the good kind, the claw your face off kind. 2 of the remaining soldiers stood their ground in the hallway, while the other one manned the controls of the nuke. They just had to go through some security protocols, save the site's Minecraft world to the cloud, and initiate the launch sequence before they or their squad members defending the nuke were overrun. MTF Chinchilla is almost at the finish line. They made it to the exit. Knowing that Dr. Kronkenwagen will most likely die if they go with him, the 2 remaining chinchillas hold their ground against the unbeatable enemy. They were buying precious seconds for Dr. Kronkenwagen and Bob. As the 2 were running for the helicopter, the launch alarm started, signaling the JV team had been successful and was now blowing up the base. Dr. Kronkenwagen and Bob made it out just in time. They landed at MTF JV's HQ, where they were safe and had a comms array to call for an extraction. They had made it, and congratulations, Bob, you get to retire. I guess the doctor was hungry. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video or are a really cool person, you should check out my last video where the United States of America invades RimWorld to fight the Empire and take their oil by introducing them to some good old-fashioned freedom.